Hello boys and girls, and welcome to another day at the Sea Kids Virtual Online Hebrew School. Wow! Today we are gathered with thousands of kids from all over the world, and guess what? You are a part of it. We have so much learning to do in such a short amount of time. So are you ready to get started? Okay. 1 second, boys and girls. Don't forget, you can win incredible prizes. At the end of your class today, I want you to fill out the form in order to enter into a raffle for some awesome prizes. And wait, at the end of class today, we will be announcing the winner from last week's raffle. Okay, boys and girls, it's now time to go into your class. Let's meet your teacher, Moralea. Don't forget to pay good attention that you can win some great prizes.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Moralea and I am so excited to be learning with you guys and with my special puppet friends about the holiday of, who knows which holiday's coming up? I can hear you, say it louder. That's right, Passover. We're going to learn about the holiday of Passover, but before we do that, we're going to ask a few questions to our little friend Joshi. Joshi, are you there? We want to ask you a few questions. Let's see if he knows what these questions are about. Okay. Let's see if he knows some of the answers to these questions that our Hebrew school friends probably know already. Hi everybody! Hi! We'd like to ask you some questions, Joshi. Okay. Do you know what happened on Passover? Did they invent the dreidel? Nice try, Joshi. But it had something to do with us coming out of being slaves. Oh yeah, we came out of Egypt. Of course I know that. Yes, you do. Of course you know that. That's right, boys and girls. Okay. And do you know what we eat on Passover, Joshi? Hamantashen. Joshi, we ate that on Purim. We don't want to eat it again on Passover. Is it apples dipped in honey? I think we eat that on Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the year. Could you think of something that's on this table? I'll give you a hint. Ooh, it's matzah, the crunchy stuff. That's right, we eat matzah. Joshi, do you know what we don't eat on Passover? Is it like stuff with germs? Well, that would try to stay away from the whole year, at any time. But what do you think we don't eat on Passover? You know what, Joshi? This is a hard one. So I'm going to say it, and I want you to repeat after me, okay? Okay. Okay, say chametz. Chametz. Good job. Now try to say a little bit with the ch sound. Try to say chametz. Okay. Chametz. Good job, Joshi. I see you really know your stuff, and we're going to learn about what chametz is. But first, we're going to learn a little bit about the miracle freedom food called matzah. Do you want to taste some? Sure. Okay. How does it taste? This is yummy. Yep, it sure is. Okay, let's see what we can learn about the matzah. Okay, last week we learned how the Jewish people were slaves in Egypt, and Hashem chose Moshe to be the leader to take the Jews out and to tell Pharaoh to let the Jewish people go. And did Pharaoh let them go? Pharaoh said no, until he had some 10 really unpleasant plagues, and he finally said, let the Jewish people go out of Egypt. So we're going to go back to the time of Egypt Moshe says to the Jewish people that it's time to go out. Imagine the scene. It's early in the morning. Everyone's sleeping, and only some of the Jewish moms are up, baking some bread for the day. So I'm going to right now be a Jewish mom. Oh, I hope these loaves come out delicious. Oh, what's that sound I hear? There's somebody announcing something outside. It sounds like Moshe. What's Moshe saying? We're leaving Egypt? I can't believe it. We thought we'll never get out of here. Moshe says we're going. Hey, Moshe! What do we do about the bread? Oh, he said to take it along. Okay, children, let's go. We're leaving Egypt. We're going to just put this bread on our back and we're going to go. Oh, yay, I can't believe it. We're finally leaving Egypt, yes. Oh, no. How are we going to bake it? Oh, we don't have to worry. Hashem will take care. What a nice and sunny day it is outside. Oh, wow. And as they were walking, suddenly they saw the bread was baking. And it turned into crispy loaves of matzah. So now, boys and girls, every year on the 15th of Nisan, which is Passover, which is coming up in just a few weeks, Hashem commanded us right before we left Egypt to celebrate it every year by eating delicious matzah and remembering that Hashem freed us from Egypt. Okay, boys and girls, now we're going to learn what matzah is made up of. Does anybody know how to make matzah? Mary! Yeah, Marla? Do you want to come share with your Hebrew school friends anything you know about matzah? Sure! Hey everyone! My name is Mary! Hi, Mary. Well, Mary, do you know what matzah is made out of? I don't! Well, let's see. Matzah is made out of 2 ingredients. It's made out of flour and made out of water. Now, the special thing about matzah on Passover is that from the minute the flour touches the water and turns into a dough until the minute that the matzah comes out of the oven is less than 18 minutes. That's how fast it has to take to make matzah, because we don't want it to rise. So, did you ever see shmura matzah? That's my favorite, what we eat at the Seder. That's right, Mary. Shmura matzah is actually made a little bit different than the regular matzah you'll find in a box. The shmura matzah is made in an expert matzah bakery by professionals who know how to make matzah really well. It's also made from special flour that they wash the wheat stalks from when it's collected till it's ground, till it turns into a flour, and they watch the water from when they draw it from the well. So, this matzah is super special. In the matzah bakery, you'll see a lot of professional people rolling up the dough, then making holes in it, then putting it onto a rod, and throwing it into the oven so it can turn into a delicious matzah. Are you excited to eat matzah? I'm hungry. I can't wait to eat it. I know, me too. I can't wait for the Passover Seder. Now, we're going to learn about chametz. Mary, let's see. Could you say the word chametz? Chametz. Nice try. Could you say chametz? Chametz. Wow. Okay, we're going to learn about chametz in just a minute. Okay, boys and girls. So what is chametz? Chametz is anything made out of flour. So each of you are going to be getting 2 comments. One that says chametz and one that says kosher for Passover. When I show you different foods, if you think it's chametz, pick up your chametz card. If you think it's kosher for Passover, pick up the kosher for Passover card. Okay, ready, set, go! What about challah? Good! Challah is chametz. What about olives? Good. Olives is kosher for Passover. What about broccoli? Broccoli, or any vegetable, is kosher for Passover. What about pretzels? Pretzels is chametz. And cookies. Good, chametz. Tea biscuits. That's chametz too. What about cheese? Good, cheese is kosher for Passover. What about bagels or rolls? That's all chametz. So we can have a lot of things that are kosher for Passover. First of all, we have our delicious matzah. We can eat fish, fruit, vegetables, cheese, and I'm going to show you something really yummy that you could make with something that's kosher for Passover, because, boys and girls, don't you all love cakes and cookies? Well, even though we can't use flour, there's certain stuff we can use. So I'm going to show you right here. I have a Cuisinart. Okay, in this Cuisinart I have these beautiful almonds. And what we're going to do now is make this, grind it up, and make it into a delicious almond flour. And by the way, boys and girls, some people do this with a different kind of nut. Some people use potato starch. And with this flour, you can actually make a great cake or cookie. So, and these cakes and cookies that come from this flour is kosher for Passover. So we're going to pulse it up, nice and fine. Oh, wow. Really nice. And look at that. We have a beautiful, smooth almond flour that actually they should even sell some almond flour in the store or potato starch. You can use this for your kosher Passover cookies. Okay, boys and girls, the last thing that you want to take care of before Passover comes around is we want to make sure that there is no chametz around in the house, because the Torah tells us that we shouldn't own any chametz or see any chametz over the 8 days of Passover. Who remembers what chametz is? Good. Anything that has flour in it, like bread, bagels, anything that has flour or any leavened kind of food. So we are going to take our spray bottles with Mr. Clean and Windex, and we are going to make sure the house stays really, really sparkling clean for the holiday of Passover. Who's excited to do some Passover cleaning? Okay, boys and girls, well, thank you so much for joining my class, and I think Okay, well, come on, why don't you come tell them? Hey everyone, I just wanted to wish you a happy Passover. Oh, thank you. Happy Passover to all of you. And now, boys and girls, we are going to go see Rabbi Barrel for some review games. Have a happy Passover.
Thank you, Moralea. Hi, everyone, and we're on to the virtual Chabad Hebrew School's game show. We have some super exciting games for you today. Make sure you get a pen and a paper or some way that you can take down your score. Super important. We'll give you a moment for that and going on to our first game. And this one is called Track It. I have here in front of me, I just went to the store and got 2 packages of applesauce. One of them is the regular kosher applesauce. I'll pull one of these out and make them super hard to open. We can do this thing. And you can see it's got this white top. It's regular kosher applesauce. Put that one down here. And then I got the special, in the kosher section, in the Passover section, a kosher for Passover applesauce, which means that all the machines that produce this applesauce were specially cleaned and wiped down before Passover to make sure that no other products were put near them or none of the ingredients that went into here got near anything that's not kosher for Passover. That's why it happens to be that this package is actually cheaper than this one. Funny enough. But anyways, I'm going to take 2 of them. 1 and 2 of the kosher for Passover ones, the red tops. And then 1 and 2 of the non-kosher for Passover ones, the white ones. Of course, they're kosher. Now, I'm going to flip them around just like this. So you're not going to be able to know which ones are which. Again, the non-kosher for Passover and the kosher for Passover one. I'm going to take a few seconds to mix this up. We'll start with slightly easier and then we'll get tougher and tougher. For the first one, if you can tell me which ones are the kosher for Passover ones after I do that switch, you get 10 points. Now, I'm going to give you numbers here just to make it simple. This is number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is at the very end, you'll have to say, oh, the kosher for Passover ones are on 1 and 3, or 1 and 4, or 2 and 4, whatever it is, so you have numbers to check. We're getting started right now with our first round. Watch carefully. Which ones do you think it is? Remember, I want you to call out which numbers they are. Is it 1 and 2? Is it 3 and 4? What is it? Okay, you have to call it out or it doesn't count. Now that you called it out, let's have a look. It's number 1 and number 2. If you said 1 and 2, give yourself 10 points. If not, don't worry, we're going on to our next round. Now that you got the idea, again, these are the kosher for Passover ones. These are the non-kosher for Passover ones. Now they're switched. You're watching out for these 2. And we're going on to our next round, a little bit harder here. Let's go. Follow that one. Call it out. Remember, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where are the kosher for Passover applesauces? Let's have a look. Number 1, not number 2, number 3, and not number 4. If you said 1 and 3, give yourselves 20 points for that one. If you did not, that's okay. Let's go on to round 3. Let's move this back here. Okay, you get one more chance. This is going to be the hardest one. The 2 kosher for Passover ones, the 2 non-kosher for Passover ones, and watch carefully, our third and final. All right, you got your chance. It's a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Give us that answer. Say it out loud. And it is not 1, not 2, but 3 and 4. If you said 3 and 4, give yourself 30 points for that round. And we are going on to round 2 of our game show today, Connect It. Something will come up on the screen, and you have 10 seconds to tell me what the connection between that thing is and Passover, what we learned today. Are we ready? Our first item is going to be a stopwatch. And our 10 seconds start now. What's the connection? Stopwatch and something, Passover, matzah. Okay, if you said it out loud, you'll get your points. If not, you don't. And the answer is, the connection between the stopwatch and Passover is they use a stopwatch or a timer to make sure that they don't go over the 18 minutes from when the water and the flour mix to make matzah and when the matzah comes out of the oven. That timer is super important. Give yourself 10 points if you got it right. If not, move on. 20 points. If not, we're moving on to our next item. And the next item is running. Running. What's the connection between running and this story of Passover? Something you learned about today should be. 10 seconds. Say it out loud if you know it. Did you get it? This is a toughie. It's worth 20 points, and that is the Jewish people ran out of Egypt and therefore didn't have enough time to bake that dough on their backs, didn't have enough time to bake the dough at home, and it didn't have a chance to rise, and therefore baked into matzah, unleavened bread. Let's go on to our next item, and that is a signature. A signature, you sign a signature maybe on a document. What's the connection between a signature and Passover, something related to today? For 20 points. This signature is connected to Passover because before Passover we get rid of all of our chametz, and that which we want to keep we sell with a special bill of sale to someone that isn't Jewish who can own it during Passover and then sell it back to us after Passover, and of course we sign that document, and that is the signature. Moving on to our third round of today's game show, and that is trivia. During this round, I'm going to ask some Passover-related questions, most of which you learned about today. Some of which you may have to go and dig into your brain, into your memory, and find some of the info that you already know. We're going on to our first question. Each question, it'll say at the beginning how many points it is worth. Our first question is worth 20 points. Make sure you watch closely. And the question is, what do you get if you mix flour and water and let it sit for 18 minutes? Do you get matzah? Do you get chametz? Do you get matzah ball soup? Or do you get a headache? We'll give you a few seconds. Shout it out if you know what it is, and then I'll give you the answer. And the answer is, you get chametz. If you mix flour and water together, let it sit for 18 minutes, it will rise, and that is chametz for Passover. We're going on to our next question. This question is worth 20 points again, and here it goes. How much bread is a Jew allowed to own on Passover? And for your answers, the size of a date, none at all, just 2 loaves of bread, or as much as you can stuff into one closet. What do you think it is? I'll give you a few seconds, shout it out if you know it, and the answer is, can't answer anymore, none at all. Give yourself 20 points if you knew that one, and we're going on to the next 20-point question. This is tough stuff. And the question is, why is matzah flat? And the first possibility is that flat represents humility, and that's a positive thing. Or, in order to bake really, really quick, we gotta make it flat so it doesn't rise. Or it reminds us of the clouds of glory that went with us in the desert, which flattened out all the mountains and the hills. Or to add a little crunch to that matzah. What do you think it is? Shout it out if you know it. And the answer is both. It is a sign of humility, and it allows it to bake really quick so it can't become chametz. If you said either one of those, give yourself 20 points. If you said both, you get 40 points for that question. Moving on to the next question, and it's again worth 20 points. And this one is, why is this holiday called Pesach? What's Pesach? One answer is Pesach means a door. It reminds us that God jumped over the Jewish doorways during the plague of the firstborn. Or Pesach means to leap over because God passed over the Jewish doorways during the plague of the firstborn. Or Pesach actually means a lamb because of the Paschal sacrifice. We call it Pesach. Or Pesach is a term which means cutting wheat. A few seconds to answer. Make sure you shout it out louder. The points don't count. It's a 20-second question, and the answer is Pesach means to leap over. Pasach Hashem jumped over the homes of the Jewish people. If you said that, you get your 20 points. If not, you do not. Now we're going on to our final question, and this is going to give you 30 points. You're lucky if you get this one right, and here it goes. The question is, in what merit did the Jewish people leave Egypt? What great thing did they do that Hashem said, I have to let them free? 1, they didn't change their name, their clothing, or their language. They hold on to certain Jewish stuff. 2, they learned Torah at every free moment. 3, they did lots of mitzvahs constantly. Or 4, finally they got that signal for Google Maps. Got a few seconds for this one. It's a 30-point question. Make sure you try. Say it out loud or else it doesn't count. And the answer is that they did not change their clothing, their language, or their names. They had kept their Jewish names. Great. If you got that right, you get 30 points. If not, you do not. And that's all it for today. How did you score? Take a moment to calculate those scores. This is not a math time, but you gotta calculate those. Is it 50? Is it 80? Is it 150? Those 20s and 30s, put them together, and let's see what you got. Now that you got those totals down, make sure you have it clear. We'll see how you ranked. If you got between 30 points and 70 points, you're a beginner. You're doing really well. Keep it going. Keep learning more and more. If you got between 80 and 120 points, you're intermediate. You're doing really well. This is really challenging, and that's incredible. If you got between 130 and 230 points, you are a game show pro. Now we're moving on to more Chaya and more Rivka, who will teach us how to make matzah. Yeah! Have fun! Whoop!
Hi there, I'm Rivka. Hi, I'm Chaya. We are reporting live from Long Beach, California. What's going on, Rivka?
Well, nothing much. We are spending a lot of our time at home these days.
I wish there was something that we could do.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Hey, I have an idea. Do you know what holiday is coming up?
I think so. My teacher told me right before school closed. Is it Passover?
Yes, Rivka, it is. Passover is coming in a few weeks.
Let's learn more about it.
So Passover celebrates our freedom from Egypt.
Wasn't there a very stubborn king named Pharaoh that didn't let the Jewish people go?
Yes, you are correct. When Pharaoh finally let the Jews go, they were in such a hurry they couldn't even let their dough bake.
So they put their dough on their back hoping it would rise, and instead it turned into, you guessed it, matzah.
Have you ever baked your own matzah?
It's really fun. First roll up your sleeves, wash your hands, 'cause here we go.
Just to let you all know, the matzah we are making today is not kosher for Passover. Making matzah is really simple. Make sure there's an adult around to help you with the oven.
Step 1. Preheat your oven to 475 degrees. You'll be needing a bowl, a baking tray, a fork, and a roll.
Now we are going to take out the ingredients. Can you guess what they are?
Flour and water. As simple as that.
Now measure 1 cup of flour and 1/3 cup of water.
Here comes the most important part of making matzah. The matzah needs to be finished in 18 minutes. Otherwise, it becomes chametz.
And we cannot eat chametz on Passover. I'm ready. Are you?
Ready. Let's go.
The timer has been set. Let's pour in the flour and the water.
Mix it as quick as you can.
Done. Now separate the dough into small balls.
Roll out the dough on a floured surface. Make sure it's really thin.
That was a lot of fun. I hope you're having fun too.
I am. Now we are going to make a lot of little holes in the masa so it's going to be nice and thin.
Done. Let's put the matzahs on the tray and stick them in the oven.
We will bake the matzahs for 2 minutes on each side.
Phew, that was quick. We made the matzah in under 18 minutes.
And the matzah look pretty good.
Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed your class today. As promised, we're now going to do the raffle for last week's review challenge. Don't forget to fill in the answers for this week and you could be our lucky winners for next week. Okay, let's give a good mix around over here and let's find out who our first winner is for this week. Our first winner is Zadok Mitchelson from Chabad Prospect in Kentucky. Mazel tov, well done. You have won yourself a $25 gift card. Good job. Okay, let's find out who our second winner is from last week. Real good mix around in here. And our second winner is Jonathan Gold from Chabad Potomac, Maryland. Wow, what an awesome job. Mazal tov to you. And our third and final place. Let's give a real good mix around in here. All of you that entered, well done. And our third winner is Ashley Parker from Chabad of Baskin Ridge in New Jersey. What an amazing job to all of you. Mazel tov, well done. Now, boys and girls, if you are a winner, SeaKids will contact you and you will be sent your special gift card. But all of you out there, you could be next week's winners. All you need to do is to fill in the link at the bottom with all of the questions and you could be a winner. Now, boys and girls, we have one more important thing. I want you to make sure that you get part of the challenges that are coming up. You will see on the Chabad Hebrew School website, you will see a challenge that's coming up for every single grade. So make sure you take part of it. Boys and girls, until next week, Shalom.